Hey, who said superheroes only exist in comics? Yeah, right. Right on our streets, there are real heroes who do good every day, risking their own safety. They don't seek glory, they don't wait for medals, they just do their thing. Today, you'll see how these people, whom we sometimes overlook, are changing the world right before our eyes. Their actions are like real magic in today's world. And I'll show you how it happens. Get ready to be amazed and inspired. A 6-year-old boy from Wyoming, USA, has become a national icon after bravely protecting his little sister from an attack by the neighbor's dog. His bravery was recognized by a well-known sports manager and even Captain America. This story quickly spread thanks to a post by his aunt, Nikki Walker, on social media, where she shared what had happened. The boy was out walking with his sister when a dog started showing aggression and was ready to attack the girl. But the guy reacted instantly, shielding his sister with his body. According to his aunt, he thought, if someone was going to get hurt, it might as well be him. The dog bit him on the head. But the kids were able to walk away safe and sound. His aunt reached out to the Avengers team and other famous characters to let them know about the new hero. The first post from his aunt gathered over 220,000 likes. The story was supported by many famous personalities, including actor Chris Evans, who recorded a video message for the boy, leaving him in awe. The manager of the boxing club, Aegis Climas, expressed his respect for the little hero by posting a photo of the boy after he was discharged from the hospital. With the caption, "No comments. Just a hero." An unusual story took place in Kansas, USA. A little puppy accidentally ended up under the hood of a car, and it was only noticed after an hour-long drive. The car owner parked the vehicle and went about her business. A girl named Carrie, who was passing by, heard the puppy's cries. She stopped, figured out the source of the noise, and got in touch with the car owner. Together, they started coming up with a plan to rescue the dog. How did the puppy end up under the hood? Why didn't he show any signs of his existence earlier? The animal's pleading looks at a lot. Carrie took the dog home and started looking for information about lost animals in the area. Soon, they were able to find the dog's owner, and he was thrilled to learn that his pet had been found. In Russia, on the Samara-Pugachev-Engels-Volgograd highway, near Mayanov village, Samara region, road inspection officers noticed a car with a flat tire. A young woman nearby explained she couldn't fix it alone. The Ministry of Internal Affairs of Russia also noticed the car. The police offered her warmth in the patrol car while they replaced the tire. A young woman was standing nearby, explaining that the car had a flat tire and she couldn't handle the problem on her own. The police officers offered the driver a chance to warm up in the patrol car while they replaced the tire with a new one. After the repair, the woman continued her journey, expressing her gratitude to the police for their help. A 3-year-old girl was sledding down a hill, and at some point, she found herself near the riverbank. Under the influence of warm temperatures, the ice became loose and collapsed, causing the girl to slip into the water. A young man who was watching the situation took just a second to react. He quickly pulled the child out of the water and carried her to a safe place, after which he called for an ambulance. But the child was lucky. No medical assistance was required as the girl did not receive any serious injuries, and she quickly bounced back after the incident. This video shows a stranger's touching act of kindness. Under streetlights, a person approaches a dog sleeping on the street. He finds an old jacket discarded on the road and uses it as a blanket for the dog. The man carefully picks up the jacket, brings it over, and gently covers the dog. He finds an old jacket that someone has discarded on the road and decides to use it as a blanket for the dog. The man carefully picks up the jacket, brings it over to the dog, and gently covers her with it. The dog, feeling the warmth and care, happily responds to the person. She wags her tail and rolls onto her back, wanting some attention and affection. She joyfully responds to the person. She wags her tail and rolls over onto her back, wanting to get some attention and affection. The man gently strokes the dog's head and back, then walks away, leaving her cozy and warm. This episode shows how a simple act of care can bring joy and relief to animals in tough situations. Even though the dog is outside, she receives warmth and human compassion, which is important during the cold season. Even though the dog is still outside, she gets at least a bit of warmth and human compassion, which is definitely important during the cold season. The best hockey players in the world, whose games attract millions of fans in the NHL and KHL, have come together on the same ice to help a young Russian citizen, Alizei Arteminov, who needs urgent and complicated surgery. Hockey stars such as Artemy Panarin, Alexander Ovechkin, Pavel Buchnevich, Vladislav Gavrilova, Dmitry Orlov, Ilya Nichushkin, Alexander Radulov, Vadim Shipachev, Denis Gurianov, Klim Kostin, Valery Nichushkin and other athletes gathered entire stands of spectators and organized an unforgettable game, which ended in a victory with a score of 10-10. Among the participants in the event were also media personalities like Nerlin Sabirov, Dmitry Pozov, Denis Dorokov, Alexander Trusova, and others. All proceeds from ticket sales were donated to the 6-year-old's treatment. To Alicia. During soccer matches at the stadium, the police ensure the safety of the public, regardless of the weather conditions. One time during one of the matches, a heavy rainstorm started. One of the police officers noticed a man in a wheelchair and shielded him from the rain, using an umbrella that he was holding. This moment was captured by a spectator and quickly spread on social media. The police officer who did this was called a hero. The fan who was filming emphasized that situations like this happen quite often at major sporting events, and we shouldn't see them as something extraordinary or heroic. The officer noted that it's nice to realize that he did a good deed and helped another person, even if it doesn't seem like a special feat. One resident of Tel Aviv accidentally stepped on a snail. That survived. However, her shell cracked. The woman couldn't just leave the situation and took the snail to a veterinary clinic. There, the specialist decided to help restore the shell. The rainy season has started in Tel Aviv, which explains the frequent encounters with such animals on the streets. The snail crawled out onto the street, but no one paid attention to it and accidentally damaged it. Thanks to the use of epoxy glue, the veterinarians were able to repair her shell and return the snail back to her home. The snail, named Chevy, recovered, and after a few weeks of rehabilitation, she was released back into the wild. Kindness and compassion are important qualities that stand out in people. It's nice to watch videos where people show kindness and compassion to others. Even if it's a small act of kindness, it matters in a world filled with negativity. For example, the owner of the electronics store. It allows homeless kids to watch their favorite shows on one of the TVs. A user on one of the social media platforms named Gautam Trevidai shared a video showing a man allowing homeless kids to choose a program to watch on one of the TVs in his store. Every evening, the owner gives the kids the chance to choose the show they want to watch. This time, the girls pointed to the cartoon Tom and Jerry and started watching it. This simple act of kindness evokes positive emotions in viewers. Users appreciated the man's behavior and wrote their thanks in the comments. Some users commented on the video, noting the importance of such small actions for society. One of the commenters wrote, "A small, but very meaningful gesture. It probably means a lot to the kids." Another commenter noted, "A very compassionate act. I love it when people do something good for others." The third commenter added, "It's a simple act, but it makes my day better. Thank you to the kind person." It's a simple act, but it makes my day better. Thanks to the kind person. I hope that our country and society will support such initiatives. The famous Indian photographer Atul Kazbekar left a comment. "A great example of humanity. Good should prevail in our society." Recently, a video became popular on a Chinese social network that touched the hearts of many users. A girl was walking with her friends in a park in the Chinese city of Jinzhou when she spotted a homeless dog. The dog came closer and looked at the girl, as if it were asking for food. The girl couldn't say no and fed the dog a sausage with pasta. The dog's reaction was unexpected. Instead of thanking her, she burst into tears of joy. The next day, the girl returned to the park, and she tried to take the dog home, but it got scared and ran away. Of course, those touching moments didn't go unnoticed, past many internet users, who watched the video multiple times. Residents of the Russian city of Voronezh shared a video on social media showing a police officer helping an elderly man with a cane cross the street. The events took place on January 9th on the street, near the beer factory bus stop. In the video, you can see the police officer stopping to help the elderly man overcome an obstacle. The pensioner was helped to move along, being supported on both sides. On one side, there's a young woman, and on the other, a police officer. Comments on social media were positive. However, some condemned the author of the video. It's better to help out yourself than to just film. The morning ride on a public bus took an unexpected turn. A serious accident occurred at First Uspensky Highway in Udino. But thankfully, it didn't end in tragedy. There was a serious accident at the intersection of First Uspensky Highway and the village of Udino. The minivan veered into oncoming traffic and collided with the bus. A split second before the collision, driver Yuri Goryanov took the bus out. He swerved to the right, drove through a shallow ditch, and safely got back onto the highway. Passengers said their bus tilted sharply but did not overturn. They drove through a shallow ditch and got back onto the highway. Just seconds before, all the passengers thought they were going to lose their lives, but the driver's quick decision and lightning-fast reaction saved them. The management of the bus fleet learned about Yuri Nikolievic's actions from the bus passengers, who spent the whole day calling the bus company to express their gratitude. The management of the transportation company and local authorities intentionally awarded the driver for his brave decision and professional skill. Goryanov was presented with the State Award at the Ministry of Transport. On February 17, 2017, in Kazakhstan, there was a traffic accident on the Pavlodar-Astana highway, which nearly involved 18 young athletes and 4 adults traveling by bus from the Bayanol district to Pavlodar for a skiing competition. The driver of the Kamaz made a mistake by choosing the oncoming lane. At that moment, a bus was traveling in the oncoming lane, carrying teenagers and adults. The driver of the police car accompanying the bus, Murat Nursitov, a police officer from the Bayanol district, decided to use his vehicle to soften the impact. As a result of the collision, the entire impact of the huge truck was taken by the police car, in which there were 2 officers. None of the bus passengers were harmed. The kids arrived safely at the competition venue. 2 drivers of the escort vehicle were taken to the hospital in Pavlodar. 1 person was injured but refused hospitalization. The second one was hurt worse, suffering a concussion, but he also refused treatment. Robert Brandley. A 37-year-old man was driving down a country road when he suddenly spotted a kitten in the bushes. At first, he continued his trip, but then he decided to turn back. He carefully approached the kitten and picked it up, hoping to shoot a video. But suddenly, 3 more fluffy kittens jumped out of the tall grass, and a minute later, Robert had 14 of them under his feet. Kittens. Robert stood there confused and didn't know what to do. The kittens were so small and helpless. Shchina decided that he couldn't leave them alone. He had to make some adjustments to the plan. Instead of just saving 1 kitten, he decided to save them all. The challenge was figuring out how to gather them all up and get them in the car at once. The kittens kept running off in all directions as soon as Robert got close. So he decided to close the car doors and put the kittens in the back seat. The little ones were so tiny that they couldn't jump back out, and this method worked. After successfully solving the problem, Robert released a short video describing his experience with the kittens. It has received a lot of views online and has received a positive response. Thousands of people around the world showed their support for Robert and offered to help him organize adoptions. Robert preferred giving kittens to friends who would care for them well. These stories remind us to stay human, thinking of others more than our own success. A simple act of kindness can brighten someone's day or even save a life. Who thinks of others more than their own success? Sometimes a simple act of kindness can really brighten someone's day or even save a life. And now, friends, I want to make you a very interesting offer. You have a unique opportunity to become part of our team. If you have video editing skills, you can voice over videos in Russian, English, and other languages. Or do you write interesting scripts? We would be happy to work with you. Message our Telegram bot. The link is in the description. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.